Thank you very much indeed, Simon. We await the entry of the two fighters here at the Elephant and Castle Leisure Centre. It's been a long old trip, 5,000 miles and 42 hours on from Tyson at the Mirage in Las Vegas to the more humble surroundings of the Elephant and Castle Leisure Centre. But that wasn't a world title fight. This one is. Some people poo-poo WBO versions of the title, but for Duke McKenzie, this means an awful lot. It would be hard to know where he could go if he failed with this attempt to lift the bantamweight title. And he's up against one of the most destructive hitters you can find in Gaby Canizales. Now here comes McKenzie on his way to the ring. Mickey Duff there in front of him. And he's got a lot of his friends sitting right here at ringside. Duke McKenzie, one of the nicest guys you'll meet in boxing. Very popular with his fellow fighters. Comes from Croydon, former patron decorator, former van driver, now as you've heard working at the Nestle chocolate factory. He's one of those fighters, although he was a world champion at flyweight, he's never really in a glamorous name. But he reaches out tonight for his own little slice of history. Becoming the first British boxer, if he could do it this century, to win world titles at two different weights. Remember, Bob Fitzsimmons, Ruby Robert, won world titles at three weights. He was British born, heavyweight, light heavyweight and middle. A few weeks back in Laredo, and that proved an awesome task. Well, I don't think Gaby is quite as good as Orlando, if that's any consolation to McKenzie, but make no mistake, the British boxer is against the odds here.
Gentlemen, please, ladies and gentlemen, would you please be upstanding for the national anthems?
Duke McKenzie looking a picture of coolness and composure during the anthem.
Gentlemen, please. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the main event on this evening's program. National Promotions present a bantamweight contest of 12 3-minute rounds at 8 stone 6 pounds for the Bantamweight Championship of the World. Presenting in this corner, ladies and gentlemen, the challenger from Croydon, Duke McKenzie. And from Laredo, Texas, ladies and gentlemen, now boxing out of Detroit, the bantamweight champion of the world, Gaby Canizales. At the weigh-in at the Odeon West End today, ladies and gentlemen, both boxers stood 8 stones 5 3/4 pounds. The officials for this contest appointed by the WBO. The timekeeper is Mr. Tom Rice of England. The judges, Andre van Gutenberg of Belgium, Jose Antonio Salcedo from the Dominican Republic, Cesar Ramos from Puerto Rico. The WBO supervisor, Mr. John Montano from the USA, and the referee, ladies and gentlemen, from New Jersey, USA, Mr. Steve Snoga.
Well, no British boxer has held any version of the World Bantamweight Championship since before the First World War. Can McKenzie break the mold here tonight? The likes of Alan Rudkin, Billy Hardy, more recently, the tragic Johnny Owen, they've all tried, they all failed. Can McKenzie score an upset win here on behalf of British boxing? Duke McKenzie in the green shorts against Croydon, the world champion, as recognised by the World Boxing Organisation. Gaby Canizales in the yellow trunks. He is the fierce hitter of these two. McKenzie has good boxing skills, he's a good technician. If he's going to win this, he will probably have to do it by the long route on points. McKenzie's got a right finger still. He's just picking his jab out. Captain Canizales very well with his jab. So he's getting the distance right from the start. He needs to do that. He's got a very tough test on his hands here, but he needs to keep cool and use his good boxing. Canizales has had trouble with more rangy boxing in the past, so hopefully Duke can hang on in there. I think McKenzie's phased to fall by this. He knows this is a big opportunity for him after his move up from flyweight. His fourth world title fight, remember, Canizales is 6th. One interesting point is that of the 5 world title fights he's had before, Canizales has actually lost 3 of them, and he has had trouble in the past against taller men. He does tend just occasionally to have the off night, and he is 31. Which is getting pretty old for a fighter at the lighter weights. Having said all of that, it is still a very mountainous task indeed for Duke McKenzie. Good work from McKenzie. He started well in the first minute. He's taking out his jab, keeping his gloves up and his elbows hugged by his ribs. No sign yet. Canizales really getting inside and starting to let go with those ferocious hooks of his. It's still a decent right over the top there, though. He hasn't got to get suckered in to get too close and not doing anything. He's got to keep this fight at range, keep giving Canizales angles, keep him busy. Don't let him get set for a big push, because we've seen how hard he pushes. Canizales is just starting to find the range with his jab. He's down to 2 or 3 of them now. McKenzie's game plan must be to try and outbox this fellow. He's had good success with that jab. He throws 2 and 3 together, and they all catch him. Canizales isn't getting out of the way of them. This has been poked out snake-like throughout this opening round. This jab of McKenzie, point scoring punch, and a nice right uppercut. Nice variety. Looks sharp, McKenzie. McKenzie. I must say, when he first moved up to bantamweight, I wasn't that impressed with McKenzie. He didn't look that good at all. As Canizales goes back to his corner, that was probably Duke's opening round.
I think he certainly did it. That was a good round, a nice start. He had a good look at Canizales. He stuck his left jab out well, and I think he did it.
But there's Gaby Canizales' record. This is 57th fight tonight, and look at that knockout record. 35 of those 48 wins have come inside the distance. That is testimony to his concussive punch power. You cannot relax for a moment against guys like this. Remember, he got off the floor to beat Laura. Laura was all over him. Canizales turned it all around with one punch, and that is the problem that Duke McKenzie has here with this guy tonight. He could get a long way ahead on points, McKenzie, and still be in the gravest danger. Nigel Kennedy at ringside. He's becoming quite a boxing fan, this fellow. He was at the Eubank Watson fight last week. You don't get many classical violinists at boxing. They're usually conspicuous by their absence. Round 2 of this world title fight. Good opening by Duke McKenzie, the British boxer. Trying to prove tonight that nice guys do win sometimes.
He certainly is. He's a very nice guy. I hope he can win it, because he's a smashing young man.
McKenzie now 28. He's also made headlines out of the ring. The curly rail flash ended with a carriage landing in his back garden, and he rescued some of the passengers. Started well again in the second round as well. He's working behind that jab, using good defensive skills, dodging this way and that on the ropes. Of course, Canizales with the expert and experienced type of Manny Stewart in his corner. Manny Stewart from that great fight factory in Detroit at the front.
He's got the perfect plan for this guy at the minute. He's moving well, he's defending well, and he's got a nice long combination. And Canizales can't get out the way at the minute. And when Canizales wants to fight, shoots out the way. It's a long way to go, and he's got to keep that up. But if he keeps like this, then he can do it.
I think you can say the start, at least, has been encouraging.
Very encouraging. He's doing perfect.
Of course, McKenzie's with home advantage here. He's on a pretty small purse. Getting the chance is far more important for him than the money here. And Nicky Duffy's manager saying we wouldn't be taking this fight if we didn't think we could cause the upset. McKenzie putting his punches together quite well. He just did walk onto one little right in there. Just mustn't get careless. Good right cross. Duke McKenzie again. This is the sharpest I've seen Duke since the days when he held the IBF World Flyweight title.
He's very sharp. He's also very loose and very accurate. That's where he's got to be careful. Just as he comes away, that's when Canizales is dangerous.
That's a good left hook from Canizales there. McKenzie took it well. He hasn't appeared to flinch at all yet from anything that Canizales has landed. Canizales hasn't landed too much as yet. McKenzie looking to rediscover a place in the big time tonight.
Canizales looks like a sawn off Roberto Duran as he starts.
So there it is. It's been a good start so far for Duke McKenzie. Small friends of Duke McKenzie. They've even brought the children along tonight, and they're hoping to see a glory night for somebody they hold very dear. There is Duke McKenzie. I've given him the first 2 rounds. What about you, Glenn?
I've got exactly the same result. He's done very well. He started this fight tremendous. He's just got to keep it up. He's got the perfect fight plan.
Third round then, Canizales in the yellow trunks, worn by all the Trump gym fighters. So far, McKenzie's fight strategy has worked absolutely to the letter. He's kept the fight at range, he's poked out his jab, he's worked quite well behind it at times with impressive little clusters. And Canizales to find his way past very often. There it is, once, twice, three times, McKenzie jab into Canizales' head. Canizales looking a little bit wild as he comes back. The question is, can McKenzie keep this up for 12 rounds?
At the moment, McKenzie's jab is certainly the key. Just not allowing Canizales the opportunity or the chance to get that big punch in. He's just keeping him off balance, and it's just a perfect ploy.
It's the old boxing cliche, Glenn, that you can run but you can't hide in the boxing ring, and 12 rounds is a long time to stay away from a puncher's power.
It certainly is. But Duke can punch as well. I mean, he's a big tall guy. And at the minute he's punched perfect with his combination.
Left hook there from McKenzie. Good shot that was. And Canizales came back. His right only landed on the flex. He's a good technician, McKenzie. Always has been. Like his brother Clinton, who had the British and European light welterweight titles. Clinton, of course, at ringside tonight, and maybe we'll have a word with him, see how he thinks it's going as this develops.
A lot's going to depend on Duke's conditioning, because it's a very fast pace, and Duke is going to need to have the same sort of conditioning in the later rounds.
Canizales, who won this world title 3.5 months ago. This is his first defence, but he was formerly the WBO title holder. And he won that in a memorable fight against Richie Sandoval in Las Vegas. And Sandoval had to go to hospital afterwards. It really was a most ferocious battle, that one. We still talk about it on the Vegas fight scene. But of course, Canizales is now a good deal older. Now McKenzie, I think that's probably what he doesn't want to do, stand and trade, but he's getting the better of the exchange at the moment. Canizales trying to shake him up with that right uppercut. McKenzie's getting his gloves up well. He really has got his act together at the moment in there.
He's very, very sharp. He's doing everything perfect. There's 4 jabs, everyone connected. He just hasn't got to get drawn into a fight.
3 rounds gone, that's how confident Duke McKenzie is. He really has performed wonders in these first 3 rounds. I think it's no exaggeration to say he's outboxing Gaby Canizales in there at the moment. Well, there's the Duke McKenzie fight portfolio, if you like. 28 wins in 30 fights. He lost his IBF World Flyweight title to Dave McCauley. Maybe they changed the nickname. Dave McCauley, of course, who still holds it. 15 of his wins by knockout, 13 by the distance route, and I think that shows that he's not what you call a big hitter.
He isn't a puncher in the class of Canizales, but he is still very, very strong.
There's Clinton McKenzie talking to Nigel Kennedy, Duke's brother, and so far they must be quite optimistic. But there is always this Canizales punch to worry about. The crowd get quite excited as Canizales temporarily loses balance. Piston-like jab still from McKenzie. That's a great right from him as well. Now, if McKenzie really was a destructive hitter, I think that one would have shaken Canizales up quite badly.
It was a smashing punch. It wasn't that punch, but I think it would have got Canizales' respect. He started this on very, very well. He's got his jab going and throwing that good right hand off it. A smashing start to another round.
You just wonder a little bit whether Gaby Canizales and his camp thought this might be a reasonably easy defence, rather than the way that Orlando Canizales, his brother, did when he came to fight Billy Hardy up in Sunderland and was given a torrid time before taking a split decision. I think Canizales will now know this is a tough one. He's caught again, and he's looking a bit ragged. Canizales in there at the moment. Almost spits out his gun shield.
It looks like after every round he's getting more and more confident, and his performance is really flowing.
What he mustn't do, of course, is get overconfident.
That's right, That's going to be a key. He hasn't got to fall in the trap. He's got to keep his concentration absolutely perfect for the 12 rounds.
Oh, he's got him there with the right. Now that was a key moment in the fight. But there he's shaken up McKenzie, and he wants to hold on for a moment, and he's clever enough to do that and buy a bit of time. He still wants to hold on. There, the punch power of Canizales came into play for just about the first time, and McKenzie wanted to buy some time, and I think he still does. I think that punch hurt him. It just goes to show, you remember when Harold Graham fought for the world middleweight title against Julian Jackson? He was all over Jackson. One punch, good night, Jackson the champion. And something similar should always happen here. McKenzie must be so careful.
He's got to be careful. He just threw some short left jabs. He threw about 3 left jabs and just didn't bring his hand right back to his chin, didn't get out of the way. And Canizales come back with a short, very, very good right hand.
Oh, that's excellent boxing for McKenzie. Trebling up on the jab and then the right to finish off the combination.
So McKenzie, he's proved he can take a good shot of Canizales, but he doesn't want to take too many of them.
Canizales scoring with that big right in that round, but I think too it was McKenzie's round, and he's building up a very useful points lead. Castle Leisure Centre, there's Billy Hardy, who failed a couple of times against Gaby Canizales' brother Orlando to lift a version of the world bantamweight title. Well, Duke McKenzie is doing very, very well here to try and rectify matters on behalf of British boxing. 4 rounds gone. On my scorecard, I have McKenzie winning all 4 of them. McKenzie in the green trunks. 28 years old, born up Croydon. Both boxers, by the way, quarter of a pound inside the 8 stone, 6 pound limit at the weigh-in earlier on today. Canizales, I think, might be looking again for that right hand, the one that stunned McKenzie in the last round. But that was a key point in the fight. Canizales landed, but give McKenzie credit, he took the punch, he held on, he bought time and got through it.
He did, he started this off very good again. He's using that long left jab, and it's really, Canizales just can't do a thing with it at the minute. He could pick up round after round if he just kept using the jab. Beautiful left hook. Fabulous boxing now from McKenzie.
Well, it's a Duke McKenzie boxing clinic masterclass in there at the moment. He's jabbing Canizales' head off. Canizales is having the occasional success, but the greater volume of work coming from McKenzie, the better punch economy coming from him as well. Good round this one. Crowd at ringside saying, keep up the jab to McKenzie, but he goes for the left hook instead. Important as well, of course, when you're in with world-class operators like this, that you vary the tactics a little bit. You don't become too predictable with them.
That's right. With a guy like Canizales, if you're too predictable, he can, like he did in the round previous, the jab was coming out, he just stepped back and hit him with a good right hand. You just got to keep mixing up, keep moving the feet. Don't let him get set. A big puncher needs to have his feet planted firmly on the floor to throw a big shot. So if you can keep moving, keep drawing him in, keep moving side to side, you'll not get planted.
Canizales still looks quite cool. He's taking a lot of head punches in there. And if only McKenzie had a bit more firepower in his fists, Canizales may be very much the worse for wear by now. As it is, they're not doing him too much good. Systematically, bit by bit, this champion is being worn down at the moment. But is he just biding his time and waiting his chance?
Well, I think he isn't doing a tremendous amount, but I think McKenzie is allowing him to. He's controlling the fight tremendously with that jab.
5 rounds gone, and 5 rounds to McKenzie, we think here. Welcome back to the Elephant and Castle Leisure Centre, live on Sky Sports. Duke McKenzie's attempt to lift the WBO World Bantamweight Championship, and it's going better than he could ever have dreamt so far. An action you just saw with his jab, and that's been the dominant weapon so far for McKenzie in the green shorts. Snapping it out all night long into the face of the WBO champion from Laredo, Texas. Can McKenzie keep this up? He's had one bad moment so far in the fourth, and he was shaken up by a good right to the head from the champion.
McKenzie's just not giving him the time or the room to get it on. He keeps taking with that jab.
Been so many controversial decisions of late that you do wonder how the judges are seeing this. They are not necessarily seeing the same fight as we are. Scoring is a very subjective thing. But I can't believe that McKenzie doesn't have anything other than a useful points lead at the moment. Yeah, that's better from Canizales though. Are we going to see him slip into gear? Canizales goes to eat the jab, as they say in the trade, of Duke McKenzie.
He always looks ready. Canizales always looks ready as he's going to slip up a gear, as he's going to throw some big punches. If he doesn't allow him to get set, he picks away that good jab, left right hand.
McKenzie was British champion, stopping Danny Flynn. He won the European title against Charlie Magri, former world flyweight champion, of course. Before flyweight became too difficult for him to get down to, and he was much more comfortable up here at bantamweight 8 stone 6. This is an excellent performance so far from him. Not doing quite so much in this round, McKenzie. Oh, that's a good right again. Canizales getting his combinations off.
He's not doing quite as much, but he's still doing the better of the work. I think obviously the guys are going to start tiring from now, but he's still having a cleaner shot, and his jab is perfect.
Really picking Canizales off there. Canizales tried to close the range to get inside, and he was picked off by 4 punches. He's starting the champion to look a little bit puffy around the face, and we're working on what looked like a little graze on one of his eyelids between the rounds.
He's definitely starting to have some effect on Canizales. He's eating an awful lot of left jabs and right hands.
There goes the bell to end the round. Let's go and see how Billy Hardy, former world bantamweight contender very recently, is seeing all this with Paul Dempsey.
Billy, you've been pretty impressed with the way Duke's first half has gone. Yeah, it's the best I've ever seen Duke McKenzie. If he sticks to his task, stick in and move and don't mix it, he's going to become the bantamweight champion of the world, and I just hope he does it.
Where is the Canizales big punch?
The Canizales big punch, it rocked Duke early on in the earlier rounds, but now, I mean, Duke's got to weather the storm because he's going to come out firing. He knows he's behind, and let's hope Duke can keep compact, and that's him. Enjoy the rest of the fight, Bill. Thank you.
Billy Hardy, good to see him looking so well, and he'll soon be back in action. Put up a very brave performance against Gaby's brother. We were out there in Laredo for that. Now it's the turn of brother Gaby to come to London. Duke McKenzie at the halfway point of the contest, we think, in a handy lead. This is the 7th round. Of course, we've got to the stage then where Canizales probably realises that he's away from home, he's trailing on points, and he's going to start getting more ambitious and really start looking for the big bombs.
That's right. As you get to the second part of the fight, he's going to realise that it's not his, he's going to use something big, and I think his corner will be telling him, if he keeps going like this, he's going to get a knockout. So he's going to be starting to plant his feet and looking for the one big one.
Well, when Duke McKenzie won the world flyweight title, he went out and celebrated by buying himself this. He can go for the Rolls Royce, I think. McKenzie boxing with great cool. The refrigerator for a boxing brain in there tonight. They've worked on this in the gym. They know the fighter they're up against. They'll have watched the videos. And so far, the game plan is working. But in italics, so far.
McKenzie's concentration up to this point has been very, very good, and that's what he's got to keep it tuned in. Canizales is always going to be dangerous with a big shot, but as long as Duke can keep his concentration going, never let him get set up, he can take this title.
Good lateral movement from McKenzie, just changing the angle and then wrapping home the jab again. And every time it lands, it sends sweat spraying in this little leisure centre, which is packed to the rafters, by the way, for this fight now. Great atmosphere in here. And the sense that maybe something fairly important could happen for British boxing here tonight. Can McKenzie keep this up? We've seen fights change dramatically in the second half before. I'm thinking of when Dennis Andrews scored Jeff Harding the first time. Miles ahead, but Harding came back at him, pegged him back and stopped him. It's a long, long way to go yet. Uppercut from McKenzie is still working well.
Canizales just teed up a big right hand there, but just didn't quite get it off. But them sort of punches when they fly over still look very, very dangerous.
So coming up towards the end of the 7th round, and McKenzie still boxing quite beautifully here and leading significantly on points. Wellington Castle Leisure Centre. Why don't we take a look back at this potent weapon of Duke McKenzie's, the jab. There it is, Glenn.
Perfect. He's been doing that. That's been the key to the fight. Everything's come off the jab, and that's worked so well because that was a simple jab there. Two of them hit. Great stuff.
I've got to say, Canizales' defence is not too clever, is it, really?
His defence is very poor, especially from the Mexican-American type fighters who usually slip a lot, move a lot. His head movement, he's been moving well, but Duke's just been pinpoint accurate.
This is the 8th round. There are little marks, not cuts exactly, but the start of little grazes now around the left eye at Canizales. But of course, like a lot of these Texan-Mexican type fighters, he has very leathery skin, which tends not to cut. But I think if that jab keeps on pumping into his face like that, I think there's the possibility, and no more than that, that a cut could develop by that left eye.
Well, he's looking very red and bruised in the corner of that left eye. And the jab is perfect. He's just got to keep pumping it away and keep moving. That lack of speed movement is fabulous.
Hope can be a very shrewd manager at times. Sometimes you think, well, is that a very smart fight for his fighter to take? But he's calculated here with McKenzie that McKenzie has the style to take a decision from Canizales and lift the World Championship. And so far, it's been a great performance by Duke McKenzie here. I think Canizales is more tired as well now. You can't just carry on eating jabs like that all night without any effect.
You can't. And also he's chasing all the time. He's throwing a lot of shots which are missing. And that's very tiresome.
Heads coming dangerously close together there. They'll have to watch that. If there was a cut now that stopped the contest, by the way, it would go to the judges' scorecards. There's Clinton McKenzie living every second of it with his brother in the ring.
Them bruises and red and brown Canizales' eyes are looking worse every second.
Well, the way there it must seem quite a long way away now for Gaby Canizales. He must start to feel a rather lonely figure in there, fighting away from home in defence of his title. Of course, the first time he became a world champion, he lost it in his first defence against Bernardo Fernando. And he must be starting to wonder whether the same thing is going to happen. in boxing terms, McKenzie has outclassed him.
It's been a great display up till now. He's doing everything right.
There's no doubt about it, Gaby does not have the moves of his brother, who is quite brilliant. Reddened, marked around the face is Canizales, and McKenzie here is really turning on the star. This is his round again. This is going better than he could have ever expected. Welcome back to this world title fight for the WBO Bantamweight Championship. There's Duke McKenzie quite unmarked in the corner, and this another example of his fine work. 2 jabs to work his way in, then the right. I think he might have been out of range the right, but he's landed often enough, and there's that swelling developing that I was talking about around the left eye, and there's something very similar starting over the right eye as well. He's had a torrid time in there as Gaby Canizales, the 31-year-old champion. And even being very charitable to him, you'd struggle here to think of a round that Canizales has actually won. Can you think of one, Glenn?
I can't. It's been a very similar pattern throughout the fight. Just dominated with good left jab, followed up with right hand, and a classic display. Again, you can't say enough. He's just got to keep the concentration right till the very end.
Is the key word for Duke McKenzie in there, because Canizales is possessed of this steam hammer power. Whether he now has the life left in him to deliver it is another question. He's pretty tired himself now. He's taken, well, not a bad beating, but he's been systematically taken apart at times here.
He has, right from the very beginning. He's never had his jabs be constantly in his space, constantly followed up with good counters. Canizales has took a little bit of a beating.
Looking to the right hand there, Canizales. You just feel there that, you remember, this is an old, aging warrior. He's been there before, and he knows that even if he's behind, it only takes one split second to score the equalizer.
Canizales has always looked dangerous, and we know that he is. But Duke really has looked a class above. Right from the very beginning of the fight, has done a great job of taking the pieces.
Well, I'd go so far as to say this is the best performance of Duke McKenzie's career, and I include in that his world flyweight title victories. Because here, he's up against a player of world renown in Gaby Canizales, and he's turned on all his skills. It's all come right for him so far. It would be calamitous, really, for him now if this story was to go wrong and have a nasty ending somehow.
Well, if he keeps this kind of concentration up, he'll be okay. He's starting to, he's keeping the variety up. He's going right hand, turning them into uppercuts, and he's put on a great display of boxing.
Mickey Duff now is calling to McKenzie to come in forward and start landing on Canizales. I'm not so sure about that. I would think just more of the same might be the answer here.
I think you could be right. Why make it any more exciting? He's doing a great job.
McKenzie now looks so confident. Moving his head, fighting for that was his round again, it must have been. So it's been a wonderful performance. There's Canizales, rather marked up around the face. Why don't we get some ringside reaction now from Clinton McKenzie, brother of Duke, who's with Paul Dempsey.
Stay out.
Clinton, will the brother hold up in the last few rounds?
Well, the fight, sorry, I'm so excited.
No, the pattern of the fight started from the first round. Duke was beautiful, his boxing great. If he can just keep himself together and just use the jab, I can see him win this fight, even a late stoppage. I think he's boxing superb.
Fingers crossed for him. Nigel Kennedy quickly making a habit of picking the big fights. Somebody in your orchestra who knows boxing.
Well, I think it's a championship fight by a British fighter of the last 2 decades. He didn't control. He's totally controlled the fight.
Well done, Nigel. Thanks to you, Clinton. You're watching all this live on Sky Sports. Duke McKenzie on the verge here, we think, of something big as he challenges for this World Bantamweight Championship, the WBO version, looking to become, let me remind you again, the first British boxer to hold a World Bantamweight title since before the First World War, 1905 in fact, when Joe Barker was the undisputed champ. John McKenzie just pumping out his jab, and are there any more ideas left, you wonder, for Canizales going?
Well, I think actually waiting for what Canizales is going to give it a last ditch effort to really land the big punch, because he hasn't done that yet. He's still, he's just been outboxed all the time. He hasn't really getting these people really went for it. So I'm still waiting for that. That might come up in the next 2 rounds. Duke's doing a great job.
So far, the publicity, the glamour, the big purses, all those things have avoided Duke McKenzie. Even when he was a world champion, nobody made much of a fuss about him. He wasn't the big noise. The sports writers didn't want to know him too much. But I think everybody would sit back and admire the work he has done tonight. He deserves the utmost credit for this performance.
Duke doesn't try and make big news. He's a real quiet, real nice kid, and doing a great job tonight.
Right hand from Canizales. That cut by the left eye of Canizales is just starting to seep blood. No more than that. It's not a bad gash or anything, and I don't honestly feel it's going to be a factor in the fight this late. Remember, this is the 10th round. Canizales is still quite light on his feet. He's caught by a right hand there. McKenzie getting ever more bold, but of course therein lies the trap for him. And getting too aggressive, will he leave the fatal gap?
He's obviously, Duke's condition is obviously great. It was a nice 4-punch combination there, which, this late in the fight is fabulous.
Canizales still with his own jab, but it was a rare success, and it was against 3 jabs, ramming home from Duke McKenzie. Look at McKenzie's lateral movement.
His leg movement's very, very good, and he needed to do that. Again, I said, a big puncher like Canizales, you need to keep off balance. You can't let him set his feet, and Duke's done that. He's kept him busy, kept picking with the jab, and he's kept him on the move, so he can't dig deep and get that big punch on.
Yes, he's kept him off balance all the time. Every time that he's loaded up with a bomb, McKenzie's been away from him, moving away, and this has been a great performance. Don't go away. I think it could be a glory night for Britain here. And back, there's the crowd, packed into this tiny little arena at the Elephant and Castle Leisure Centre. This was the action from round 10. McKenzie, just more of the same from him. Piston-like jab, and let's have a look at the effect of those jabs on the left eye and the right eye. Look at them, bruised, swollen, still no cut. He must have been made of leather, that guy. So 11th round, just 2 to go here, and McKenzie, we think, the proverbial streak ahead on points, but can he hold on to it? Canizales now has really got to go for it then.
Well, that's what I keep expecting. It's just 2 rounds to go. Canizales, if he wants to have a chance in this fight of getting the big one, he's got to go for it, press, and try and pin the pins on the ropes, and he's never been able to do that.
McKenzie's superiority, even bearing in mind the eccentric nature of big fight judging sometimes, surely is undisputed here. And the crowd now are starting to find their voice. They're singing, there's Clinton McKenzie again. Look how excited he is. He's orchestrating. They're singing McKenzie home here, but he's not there yet. But he is into the home straight, but now Canizales traps him on the ropes. There was a danger moment.
Canizales is still thinking. As he went back on the ropes there, he made a little movement to McKenzie to call him in. I think he's trying to call Duke in so that Duke can make a mistake and land the big one. So he's still all there, he's still thinking.
The time is running out for Gaby Canizales. His reign may have little more than 4 or 5 minutes to run if it carries on like this.
Duke's not playing his games. He's not getting impatient. He's not getting careless. He's got to keep doing that. He hasn't got to stand in front and allow him to come on that big hoop.
Well, it's been a superb boxing display. Quite brilliant from Duke McKenzie. He's outclassed the WBO champion here. Much too good for him technically. Canizales fiercely comes back with his left hook. Again, he had to take a volley of head punches. And really, I'll say it again, if McKenzie was any kind of a hitter, I think Canizales would be out of there by now.
He certainly landed enough time. Duke's got the right idea now. He came into a combination there. Threw a big combination. Just got tight with the left hook. I think it's time just to say, listen, it's in the bag. Just keep out of the way. Don't do anything silly.
I certainly felt Canizales' punch power with that good right in about the 4th round. That really did shake him up. He held on. He got through that moment, and I think that was a pivotal moment in the fight. It's always going to be a key moment when Canizales landed. Could McKenzie take it and then get back to his boxing, and he's done that. Here we go, the chant is now ringing around the Elephant and Castle Leisure Centre. Duke McKenzie, there are the girls from the Chumley family I was telling you about. They're enjoying this so far. They're not experienced fight judges, but I think even they can see that Duke McKenzie is in control here. He seems now to be 3 minutes away from lifting his 2nd world title. He would become, to remind you again, the first British boxer this century to hold world titles at 2 different weights. If he can underline the work he's done, look how confident he is. He raises his arms aloft. Mickey Duff looks confident. For once, he hasn't got anything to say. That must be some kind of a record. There is nothing to say. McKenzie knows what he's doing. And really, all he can do is go out and do what he's done so effectively for the last 11 rounds.
That's all he's got to do. He's 3 minutes away from the championship of the world. His 2nd one. He just needs to keep the jab going, keep the feet moving, and he's home free.
12th round, and on the scorecards of Glenn McCoy and myself, purely unofficial of course, McKenzie is leading by a landslide margin. Canizales, I think there's little question about it, needs a knockout. McKenzie here just hasn't got to do anything very spectacular at all, has he? He's just got to keep himself out of trouble.
That's right. He just hasn't got to take any chances. Just a nice display. Just be nice and careful. Keep concentrating. And it's in the bag.
History beckoning for the man who used to be a painter and decorator in Croydon and politely asked Nicky Duff when he won his world title if it would be all right to give up the painting and decorating for a while. So I'd like to see this fellow come out of the game with a bit of wealth as well as his heart. His jab still working perfect. And he's even finding time for a little showboat wave for the crowd.
Keep it like that.
Gaby Canizales, the WBO bantamweight champion, has been comprehensively outboxed here. Is there one little ounce of drama still to come? Canizales just hasn't been able to find the jackpot punches.
He hasn't got a few ways he's off to. That was his sort of puncher. I know he's got it in the bag and he obviously knows that. But it's not worth the risk.
Backs Canizales up again with combinations to the head. Great punch economy about McKenzie. He's hardly thrown a punch, which is missed.
His accuracy has been fabulous. Canizales is a fighter who moves a lot from the head, so Duke picked them up non-stop with the jab.
Accurate, sharp, clever, intelligent, all those words apply to McKenzie's performance here. A lot of people thought that he didn't have it left anymore at that bantamweight, but a lot of people were prepared to ride him off, thought he was going backwards, a light of former years. But he's torn up the script in spectacular fashion here. It's been a wonderful performance by Duke McKenzie. And we're into the last few seconds now. In football terms, the referee is looking at his watch.
It's been a marvelous performance. With 5 men outside, they're all just talking in the ring tonight.
And there goes the bell to end it. And I think that Gaby Canizales himself knows that he's been in the game long enough. Ricky Duffy's all smiles. And for my money, Duke McKenzie not only won that fight, but he won it by a long, long way.
That's right, they can't even give this fight close. That was a great performance, a very, very convincing win. He hardly took a step wrong.
Well, I have it to McKenzie by a 10-point margin here, the equivalent of 10 rounds. I've only been able to see a couple of rounds level, and the rest of them to McKenzie. But we await, and I must stress that after some recent events in boxing, the decisioning of the 3 judges here, and the 3 judges from Belgium, from the Dominican Republic, and from Puerto Rico. Referee Steve Smoker, who was hardly called upon there for the whole 12 rounds. You didn't notice him. Let's just have another little slice of McKenzie masterclass tonight. 3 jabs, bang, into the face, and they sting Gaby Canizales, who didn't even bother to go through the phony ballyhoo that fighters usually go through at the end of fight, raising his arms, pretending he's won. You've seen fighters who've lost do that before, but I think Canizales knows the score here.
I'm sure he does. He's been boxed to pieces.
Let's get the decision now. We'll get it any moment. Well, they're just making McKenzie wait. They're collating the scorecards. There are a lot of smiles around in the British camp. Any man seeing it. Look at the 2 fighters. They're swapping words. Gaby Canizales, we met him in Laredo. He's a very nice man. So is Duke McKenzie. Let's get the official scoring now.
Gentlemen, please. Ladies and gentlemen, we have unanimous decision, ladies and gentlemen. The judges score the contest 120 to 108. 120 to 108. 120 to 109. For the winner and the new bantamweight champion of the world, Duke McKenzie.
Victory for Duke McKenzie at the Elephant and Castle tonight, and you saw it live on Sky Sports. And 2 of those judges gave McKenzie every single round. The other one gave him 11 with 1 round even. Ricky Duff shows off the belt. Duke McKenzie, the first British boxer this century to hold world titles at 2 different weights.
The WBO supervisor, Mr. John Montano.
What a famous night this is. And brilliant would not be an overstatement of McKenzie's performance in there. In a moment we shall meet to get a word with the new champion. The opposers, the photographers, his friends at ringside are delighted for him. Everybody in British boxing is delighted for him. And he's succeeded where Billy Hardy and Alan Rudkin and of course tragically the late Johnny Owen all failed to become a bantamweight champion. There he is, Duke McKenzie, lifted aloft, the WBO bantamweight champion of the world by what was a shutout margin on 2 of the 3 judges' scorecards. So we're going to have a word in just a moment with Duke McKenzie, just posing there. Ricky Duff is in there, another world champion for him. Great delight in the camp. I think he can get himself another BMW or something. Maybe Paul Dempsey will find out. Let's now speak to the chap.
Duke, well, it was nearly perfection, wasn't it? What I have to say is this. Thank Mickey Duff for being Mickey Duff, getting me my opportunity to fight for another title in the world. I really thought it was lost. I thought I'd be scratching around with nothing fights, which I did for 3 fights. They take nothing away from the opponents, but they weren't meaningful. I've got to thank Benny Mancini because he's a diamond, and again, another guy that doesn't get any credibility at all. But first and foremost, I want to praise God, I want to praise my trainer, Colin Smith, who Nicky will understand this, but Colin never gets nothing, doesn't get no publicity, no nothing. I told him in France, if I would have won the European title, all that let me down over there was inactivity basically, but I'm back now, I've had 3 good wins and I'm world champion. I promised him if I won the world title, when the WBO present me with my belt, I'm going to present it to my trainer, because that's how much he means to me.
Not right
Listen,
now.
not right now, because
It's been a long old 2 years for you since losing the World
it's
Championship.
been long, but I tell you something, it's been worth it. Getting beat at flyweight was probably the best thing at the time. I'm gutted that I lost, obviously, but I lost at the right time. If I'd have gone on trying to make flyweight, I might have got knocked out. Anything might have happened.
Just tell us quickly, were you ever worried tonight that you would not last the distance?
Listen, I've been sparring brilliantly. Guys like Colin McMillan.
I was worried because I'm always worried. But that's the only reason I was worried. He fought a blinding fight, and if you heard the scores, there were 2 judges gave him all the 12 rounds.
Have you ever scored 120?
No, I don't think I was. It
He
goes.
only fought 12 rounds on 3 occasions.
So there you go. But I'm back on top now. While I have no real long-term ambition to stay in boxing, I want to fight for my manager. I'm not going to quit or nothing like that. But now's the time to try and capitalise and be like an active champion.
Final word, Duke. It's nice to see a good guy winning tonight.
Friends, thank you very much. Thanks to my trainer again, Mr. Smith.
Well done to you, sir. Well, Duke McKenzie proving again there what a very nice man he is, and a world champion as well for the 2nd time now. Celebrations, no doubt, back in Croydon tonight for Duke. Great performance from him. So you've seen that live on Sky Sports, but please don't go away because there's some more very good boxing to come for you tonight. We've got the Commonwealth title fight featuring Henry Wharton and Rod Carr. Good one it is too. But we say goodbye to you just for the moment from the Elephant Castle and with the celebrations of Duke McKenzie.